Hello and welcome to Adventures in Black and White. I'm Ria, that's Rosie, and it is winter. So previously I've done a tutorial about how to beat the heat. Today I'm going to do a little bit of how we survive the cold. So yeah, how we survive the cold. The most important thing to keep on top of when it's cold is that your horse remains drinking. Now, how do you know your horse is drinking? If you use water buckets, obviously you'll know, but I've got automatic waterers, which are great because they supply the horse with fresh water constantly, and actually it's less likely to freeze in temperatures like this. But then of course you don't know if they're drinking or not. But if you're mucking them out, you'll see whether they have wet their beds, and if there's no wet in their beds, then they're not drinking. So how you encourage them to drink, try and warm the water up a little bit. You can add water to their feed them warm mashes, anything to encourage them to eat, feed wet hay, and turn out. Now, if you can't turn out, which I can't with her at the moment because it's looking okay at the moment, but it's rock hard. And with her injury, turnout's a little bit tricky. So I need to increase her exercise in a safe way. The arena is frozen, so again, difficult. So we have a horse walker, so she goes on the horse walk in the morning, and then I come and do something with her in the afternoon, and a mixture of just hand walking, just to keep her sane, a bit of hand grazing on the bits that aren't frozen, and then some poles, gentle poles, just to get her core going, which I'll show you now. I thought it was easier to do a voiceover on this bit, but just to sort of generally go over what I do. So I've got 3 exercises lined up here. The 3 poles in front of us, the 2 poles that are in a line, and then 3 poles further up in a fan. You should always have at least 3 poles, in my opinion. Just it encourages horses not to jump the poles, and you just get a bit of a better sort of motion going. So I just bring in here. She's a little bit inattentive, but you can see she's sort of striding through. Those poles are strided at my feet, just 4 feet, one in front of the other. She was a bit naughty there, but this just sort of shows how, you know, we're trying to keep it all very low energy, because it's not about like making her tired, it's about getting her to use herself properly and just engage her core, lower her head, lift her belly, just so that she's had some stimulation and moved around. So for full disclosure, I did cut out all the periods of time where I was like off camera because I wasn't using my Pivo, so that's why it looks a bit clipped up. But yeah, so I'm moving on to, oh no, I'm going to come around a few more times. But yeah, so just do the exercise, do each exercise a couple of times on each rein before moving on to the next one. Ideally sort of wait until they're being good and then move on. There you can see she's just a little bit short, my strine was a bit off. So now moving on to this one. So this is the leg yield over the pole. So it's not actual leg yield. What it is the aim of this exercise, which I have showed people a few times before, is that as you walk up to the poles, you want them to step over the pole with the leg that is closest. So there, she did the inside front leg first, and then basically they end up just, they have to lift their leg up and stretch it across. So you want to go, there you go, you can see it much better there on this side. So she's going with the leg on the side, and then yeah, back, front and back, and it's really good exercise for back legs. And actually I think that this exercise is really good for those when you're teaching them leg yield as well, because they're learning about stepping under. So that's that. The reason why I've done this a couple of times is she was rushing it a bit. She also would sometimes try and go with the opposite leg first. So just trying to sort of go, no, Rosie, we're going to do this properly. And even if we have to slow it down, then, you know, we're going to do that. Now here, I think, oh yeah, she's kicked one of the poles. So ideally use square poles for this. So while we're here, I just think, right, step her over. Now, if you're going to back up a horse over a pole, always, as I did there, put your foot on the pole so they don't just drag it backwards with them and panic. But yeah, she's good. That was also, I did that just to get her attention. And then you see she's really having to think. That was good. That was really good. I actually thought when she was doing it, she wasn't doing that well, but watching it on video, actually she looks a lot better. So now I'm going up to the fan. Now the fan is more difficult for Rosie. She had an injury last year, which affects her left side. So she, on the right rein, she finds it difficult to stretch. So this is why we do this exercise. The physio told me to use this one. Now she's just been a bit anxious there because she knows, because she's done this exercise, that it's hard. So if a horse is resistant, there's two reasons. They're either worrying about it or they don't understand what you want them to do. So here Rose is like, I don't really want to do it. She sort of goes through it, but she's not doing it quite how I want. So I'm just sort of, come on Rosie, try and show her. And she's all like, yeah. So if they go in the middle, it's just one normal stride. If they come closer to you, it's shorter strides with higher steps. And if they go further away from you, it is longer strides and lower steps. But they still have to step up because of the pole. So Rose is pretty good because we're on the left rein. And then I'm going to go now onto the right. Because, as I said, we always do everything from each rein. Now this is Rose's hard rein. So this, watch what she does. So I'm going to walk through it to show her where I want to go. And she's like, yeah, no, Mum, I'll just go around the outside because then I don't have to do anything. So it's like, no, Rosie, no. So I sort of make it quite clear, no, you're going over the poles. So then she's going to go, oh no, I'm just going to go to the inside. Yeah, no, I'm not really doing that. So then I have to just be a bit firmer with her and go, no, we are going to go through the middle. Do it properly. And that's what the head tilt is. She's anxious, but she's done it, so that's good. And then once she's done it the once, she's like, oh, maybe it wasn't that bad. And we'll do it a few more times. Again, she's slightly work avoiding there by looking elsewhere. She's kicked the poles as well. With the sound on, which I think sound is on, you will hear her kicking the poles more on this rein than on the other rein because she struggles. So I know that when we get to the point where she's not using the poles like braille, that then she's really even. But as you can see, she's sort of calm, relaxed, her head's down. So you don't do too much on that because I don't want to stress her out. So I go back to this exercise because this exercise will help build the other one. And when it's not frozen, like this is frozen, so we couldn't do any more than walk. How I break these exercises up is I'll go and like lunge and trot at the top. But we couldn't do that today because it was too cold and too frozen. And then we're going to come back to this. Again, because she's kicked them, they're not quite right, so I just move them around. It's not essential that they're spot on. You know, the whole idea is the horse learns perception, is like stretching for the pole or collecting themselves. So, you know, micromanaging them for this is not essential. And actually they look pretty uneven there. But, you know, it's more about her learning to lift herself up, drop her head, which she's not doing there. And then just see. Now I think here, oh yeah, now I've got the pole pods. So these are really, really good that we've got on the yard, just to raise them up. Again, just to elevate the stretch through her back more. And I'm going to raise those two, the orange two on that side and the green one on the side that's closest to the camera. Do not put your poles on the side of the arena. I've seen people doing it, and actually the poles in the intro and outro are like that. I didn't do that. It is dangerous. Because what happens is the horse can, if they knock them, then the pole will roll with them, whereas with the pole pods they'll just drop down. And as you can see there, she's got more flexion through her hocks. And she's thinking, so the perception is great. Here again, I fiddle with the poles. But this is all very good, you know, for her. Like, you know, she's got to learn that, yeah, sometimes we fiddle around and do stuff. She just stands there waiting for me. She's not meant to move around much. And she's also standing nice and square, which is good. Sometimes the more you move them, the worse they are, and she'd knock back one down. So, come on, see? So you can see there the hocks really, really flexing. So this is a really good exercise for hocks. And for me. But all the time, calm, relaxed. And it's just a good bonding exercise as well. It's really good to spend some time with your horses like this. So I hope you enjoyed that. Rosie is so bored, but she did really enjoy the poles yesterday. If you would like my little handy hint sheet on how to cope with a cold, comment cold in the comments below and I will message you and send you the sheet. I'm sort of moving my tutorials forward a bit, so anything you want to learn about, just drop me a like and a comment. I know that my tacking up ones have been doing really well. So anyway, I really enjoyed doing this for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and there'll be more Rosie content soon.